Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Thank you for joining us. A new Corning technology will be hitting store shelves later this year after being registered with the EPA. This new technology will be used in paint products, and it is capable of killing the COVID virus. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst joins us from Corning with the details.
Good evening, Ann. Last year, we showed the potential of Corning's Guardian technology, which is shown in lab testing to kill 99.9% of COVID-19 on surfaces. It will soon be found in paint products after being registered with the EPA. Today, paint manufacturer PPG announced it received EPA registration for its Copper Armor paint. This antimicrobial paint contains the Corning Guardian technology, a copper-based micropowder designed to kill bacteria and viruses on painted surfaces, including COVID-19. We highlighted the technology less than a year ago on Big Fox News at 10. At the time, Corning product developer Dr. Joydeep Lahiri said the technology highlights Corning's ability to innovate and tackle complex problems.
This is a terrific example of innovation by Corning. What's all the more remarkable is that we pulled it off during this pandemic and creating something that's so relevant.
Dr. Lahiri says the technology is designed to kill bacteria and viruses in under 2 hours and will continue to work long after first application.
What Guardian coatings provide is protection that is built in, and therefore it lasts. And as long as the integrity of that surface is maintained, it should continue to work.
PPG will begin selling the product later this year at its paint stores, independent retailers, and home improvement stores. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
The village of Cohocton is mourning the loss of its police chief. On Monday, the Cohocton Fire Department announced the passing of Chief Kerry Pebbles. In a Facebook post, the fire department thanked Pebbles for his many years of service to the community. Details about his death have not been released at this time. Elmira Savings Bank announced it will soon be merging with Community Bank. According to a press release, the two banks will complete the merger by 2022. Thomas Carr, the Elmira Savings Bank CEO, says that the combination of the two banks will greatly expand services for customers, such as increased mobile banking options. The merger still requires approval from state and federal regulators. The FBI raided the headquarters of a New York City police union in Manhattan today. The agency confirms it is investigating the Sergeants Benevolent Association office. According to police sources, agents seized documents. Now, there isn't any information indicating that anyone at the office was arrested or that charges were filed. Neither the association nor its president, Ed Mullins, have commented on the raid. Mayor Bill de Blasio says all but 5% of New York's public school employees are now vaccinated against COVID-19. And that number is even higher when you consider just teachers. But some employees still refuse to get the shot. Jessica Layton spoke with people who are now unemployed and protesting.
I refuse to get vaccinated.
Paraprofessional Stephanie Delaterris is feeling the consequences of refusing the shot firsthand.
My husband is a custodian, and we have both lost our jobs, and he has worked through the entire pandemic, cleaning every single COVID room. Now we're both out of work. We were essential last year, and now we're just zeros this year.
8,000 other Department of Education staff who won't get vaccinated feel her frustration.
I feel very insulted after years, over 7 years I've been working as a teacher, and I really love my job. I did not want to leave, and I'm being forced to leave because of my choice.
Even before high school history teacher Stephanie Edmonds attempted to show up for work, she knew she'd be told to go home. She's been fighting the vaccine rule for weeks.
I did send in a lesson today for whoever's going to be in there to give out to the kids.
And although the mayor says close to 1,000 teachers who were holding out finally got their shots over the weekend, the city had thousands of vaccinated substitutes ready to step in Monday morning. But students at New Dorp High School on Staten Island will be missing 20 of their usual staff.
We have the largest village of dedicated adults prepared to step up for our young people.
The overwhelming majority, or 95% of DOE staff, are vaccinated. And at Lower Manhattan Community Middle School, the vaccination rate is 100%.
I'm really glad that this school year can continue to grow and be, somewhat normal whatever normal is in a pandemic.
Those who won't follow the rules were all welcome at this rally, but others watching the protest, like this nurse, don't understand why they'd fight against something so hard that could ultimately keep them and their students alive.
For us to get back to any kind of normalcy, the vaccine to me is the way to go.
A shocking moment in New York City. Police are searching for the person seen in this surveillance video shoving a woman into an oncoming train. Investigators say the 42-year-old female victim was waiting on the northbound 123 train platform in Times Square on Monday. The suspect walked up and pushed the woman into an oncoming train. The impact with the train caused the victim to fall back onto the subway platform. Police say the victim had injuries to her face and legs and was taken to the hospital. The mayor of Rochester, New York, is resigning. Mayor Lovely Warren's resignation is part of a plea deal that she accepted. She was facing felony charges related to alleged mishandling of campaign finances in the 2017 mayoral election. Warren was looking at up to 4 years in prison. Jury selection was slated to begin Monday morning. However, lawyers met to negotiate plea deals for Warren and 2 other defendants. Warren pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge. Her sentence was a 12-month conditional discharge, including a requirement that she resign as mayor by December 1st. The other 2 defendants also accepted their plea deals. Warren did not make a statement in court after her plea. Former presidential candidate Andrew Yang is leaving the Democratic Party. He called it a breakup on his blog and announced he's now registered as an independent. The 46-year-old ran for mayor of New York City earlier this year and says he feels he can have a greater impact outside the 2-party system. He recently suggested more states should hold open primaries and more politicians should aim to persuade those in the middle. He had been a registered Democrat for more than 25 years. Democratic leaders say there's been some progress on bringing together members of the party on 2 massive spending bills, but President Biden is still working to sell the plans to the American people, including some in his own party. Lauren Blanchard has more from Washington.
These bills are about competitiveness versus complacency.
With the backdrop of heavy construction equipment, President Biden visited Howell, Michigan to keep building support for the bipartisan infrastructure package and his Build Back Better plan, pushing the packages through a divided Senate and a divided Democratic Party, however, proving to be a big lift.
The only thing we've been missing is the will from Washington to finally build an economy around you.
Currently, the Build Back Better plan is roughly $3.5 trillion, but moderate Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema say it's too much.
Even some of our colleagues on the Democratic side are calling this craziness what it is.
The White House has acknowledged the final number may be closer to $2 trillion.
Well, I'm not ruling anything out.
At the same time, progressives say they'll stall or tank the $1 trillion bipartisan bill with roads, bridges, and other traditional infrastructure items if they don't get the historic social spending bill they were promised.
This country faces enormous crisis, so we're going to go forward. We're going to negotiate.
Senate Leader Chuck Schumer is planning a Wednesday vote to suspend the debt ceiling until December 2022, as Republicans say Democrats will need to go it alone.
The only reason to raise the debt ceiling is because you intend to add more debt.
Last week, President Biden delayed a trip to Chicago to sell the bills to instead negotiate with lawmakers. That trip is now this Thursday. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Incidents involving unruly airline passengers are at their highest level in months, says the FAA. More issues were reported in the last week than any week since July 20th. A majority of the disruptions, 72%, were over the federal transportation mask mandate. More than 4,600 incidents have been reported so far this year. The FAA says it has a zero-tolerance policy for unruly passengers. A day after being hit with an outage, Facebook is once again under the microscope. A former employee testified to lawmakers on Capitol Hill today, alleging the social media giant knows its platforms are used to spread violence and misinformation to users, and how its photo-sharing platform Instagram harms teens. Fox's Madeline Rivera has the latest from Washington.
Facebook under fire. In her testimony to lawmakers Tuesday, former Facebook employee turned whistleblower Frances Haugen is calling for the government to take action against the social media giant, like it did against Big Tobacco, accusing the company of repeatedly choosing profit over safety.
But I'm here today because I believe Facebook's products harm children, stoke division, and weaken our democracy.
The Senate Commerce Subcommittee is also looking into how Facebook is using information from its own researchers on Instagram that could affect the safety of children. Documents leaked by Haugen revealed Facebook knew Instagram was making body image issues worse.
Facebook knows that they are leading young users to anorexia content.
Billions of people lost communication Monday after Facebook and its apps, including Instagram and WhatsApp, went dark for hours. The outage showcasing the world's dependency on the platform.
She backed it up with all these documents, which is that the business model, the algorithm of Facebook, is to keep you online as long as possible so they can sell more ads.
Facebook, meanwhile, is pushing back on some of the allegations against it, saying, "We continue to make significant improvements to tackle the spread of misinformation and harmful content. To suggest we encourage bad content and do nothing is just not true."
Facebook is pressing pause on Instagram Kids, which is geared for people under 13, to address concerns regarding the app's effects on younger users. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Meteorologist Kim Walker has your forecast right after this.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. Just a few clouds that have been passing through our sky today, keeping those temperatures on the low side. And so it's been a cool day. There were a few showers in the eastern portions of the state, but right now it's exiting and moving toward the Atlantic. But our next rainmaker could be a low pressure system located in the southeast. You can see the counterclockwise spin around that low, and it is setting off thunderstorms all around it. Our models are indicating that it will shift to the northwest and then eventually eject to the northeast by the weekend. And so that's going to bring us that possibility of rain for this weekend. But for today, we did see a lot of cloud cover, and so temperatures a little bit cooler than they were yesterday, about 4 degrees cooler in Elmira, and in Corning about 3 degrees cooler. Tomorrow, we're going to start off with some morning fog, and that's going to be the scenario for the upcoming days. Clouds will hang tough for the next few days as well, and then over the weekend, we do have that possibility of rain with that upper level low that will be moving in from the southeast. So for your Wednesday, high pressure builds in from the north, and we are going to be very close to the core of it. So I'm expecting very calm conditions and very quiet weather. But even with that said, there could be 1 or 2 sprinkles. Notice the green that is showing up to our south. That's associated with that low pressure system that will just meander around the southeast before ejecting to the northeast toward our area. So here's a look at your forecast for your Wednesday. We are expecting temperatures to slowly warm up into the low 70s. There is the possibility of a stray shower or two, but not the best chances for your Wednesday. We do drop down into the 60s by the evening hours. So here's a look at your forecast for tonight. Some patchy fog, temperatures around 58 degrees, highs tomorrow around 73 degrees with mostly cloudy conditions. There will be some hometowns that could get an isolated shower or two, but I think we are going to see a little bit more dry conditions as we head toward the end of the week. A little bit more sunshine on Thursday means temperatures warm up to around 77, 75 for your Friday, and then over the weekend, that low pressure system I was telling you about is going to start to move toward the Twin Tiers. And so there could be a few showers on Saturday that could continue into your Sunday. But by the end of the weekend, we start to warm up again back into the 70s. By Monday, expect partly sunny skies with highs around 74 degrees. And then those clouds will be back by Tuesday with another system that will try to move in. Overnight lows for the next 7 days will be mainly in the 50s. So we have several cool mornings on tap.
An urgent call for help. The Red Cross says it is in an emergency situation right now. Life-saving blood supplies are dangerously low, and the organization blames a surge in COVID-19 cases for the shortage. Mandy Gaither has the latest on the lack of blood supplies in today's Health Minute.
500 blood donations since 1999.
It's my way of giving back.
It's a milestone for Sean Brennan, who has rolled up his sleeves for the Red Cross even through the pandemic.
When you think of the lives you could be saving, it's a no-brainer to me.
But the Red Cross says COVID-19 has kept many others away, especially in the past several months as the U.S. has been grappling with the Delta variant.
This is an emergency.
Right now, there's a dire demand for blood. The Red Cross says its national inventory is the lowest it's been at this time of the year since 2015. There's less than a day's supply of certain blood types.
There are concerns for hospitals who may have to delay elective procedures or surgeries. A worst case scenario is that the hospitals won't have the blood for emergency type situations.
The organization estimates it'll need to collect around 10,000 additional units each week for a month above what's normally donated in order to make up for the shortage. While there's a need for all blood types, the Red Cross is most in need of type O.
O negative is universal and is used in emergency situations, and O positive is nearly universal and is the most commonly transfused blood type.
The Red Cross says safety measures are in place to keep donors and staff protected from COVID-19. That includes mask and appointment requirements.
It's all about saving lives.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A film crew actually gets a front row seat of a crocodile's bite when the reptile goes airborne and chomps an aerial drone. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Documentary filmmakers shooting in an Australian lagoon got an intimate look at the animal kingdom's most powerful bite when a snappy crocodile went in for its close-up. The ABC News Australia crew was capturing video of the reptiles in their native waters when they spotted one croc giving their aerial drone the stink eye. So they went in for a close-up, and the croc went vertical, snatching the drone out of midair. The filmmakers figured it was gone for good, but lo and behold, it was found 2 weeks later, washed ashore, peppered with teeth marks. The mangled drone was done, but the amazing video survived. Ah, chérie, je ne peux pas lire ton écriture manuscrite. Which means, babe, I can't read your handwriting. Yeah, it sounds better in French. Scientists in France are using cutting-edge tech to read between the lines, digitally deciphering hand-encrypted hidden words in letters written between Marie Antoinette and her lover some 200-plus years ago. The parchments were examined using X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy and data processing to reveal hidden words such as beloved, adore, and madly. It's believed the letters were sent only a couple of years before the French queen met her famous end at the guillotine. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Despite strong demand, new car sales are dropping. Experts blame the ongoing computer chip shortage and other supply chain issues. Jen Sullivan has a closer look, including when prices may get back to normal.
Declining new car sales in the U.S. The auto industry reporting a drop over the last 3 months, despite massive customer demand.
So right now, dealers have very few new cars on the lot, and you can see that by driving by any dealer lot. There's cars up front in the front row, but nothing behind it.
Automakers like GM and Fiat Chrysler are reporting a drop in new car sales, with all pointing to semiconductor supply chain disruptions and low inventory as the problem. The auto industry has been dealing with a shortage of computer chips needed to build cars for more than a year.
We are waiting for China to get those materials because we may have the companies based here in the USA, but they're building those chips in China, and we're getting about 80% of our need. The demand is very high.
And that's creating a domino effect impacting consumers' wallets, starting with chip shortages and supply chain disruptions impacting inventory at car dealerships. And then that shortage of cars leading to record high prices for new cars, which then sidelines potential car buyers who are priced out of the market. One expert says relief from those high prices could still be several months away.
Now, we're worried right now that it looks like 2022 or even as late as 2023 before we can get back up to production. So until that time, expect that new cars are going to be difficult to access.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Microsoft's new operating system, Windows 11, is now available. but you might not see it right away. The company says it is slowly rolling out Windows 11. Users will be notified when they are eligible for the update from now through mid-2022. Windows 11 features a new interface, start menu, and widgets feed. But users who do not want to change just yet can continue using Windows 10 through 2025. Barbie floating in midair? The world's most famous doll has crossed into the final frontier of zero gravity. In honor of World Space Week and to little girls everywhere, Barbie goes on one of those zero-G flights. And as Jeannie Moose reports today, she looks just like a certain female astronaut.
Barbie goes zero gravity, floating around in one of those planes that replicate zero-G. So after years of complaints about her unrealistically ideal figure and weight, she's now weightless. She's come a long way.
Barbie, beautiful Barbie.
We've seen lots of things in zero-G, from nuts to toothbrushes to tortillas. The band OK Go once recorded a music video in zero-G. Watch the lead singer's eyes as he almost passes out. Model Kate Upton even did a Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoot weightless, but that's sort of the opposite of this. This Barbie is meant to look like Italian astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti. The point?
Inspiring more women to take up career in space.
In honor of World Space Week, the European Space Agency put Barbie on one of their zero-G flights. The plane climbs sharply, then dives. At the top of the hump, passengers experience weightlessness for 20 or 30 seconds. The flights are often referred to as vomit comets. But Barbie didn't lose her lunch. Of course Barbie comes, helmet included. Mattel has been making astronaut Barbie since 1965. Yes, I am a rocket scientist. The next commander of the International Space Station says.
So maybe those images will kindle a sparkle of passion in some girl's heart.
Someday I'm gonna be exactly like you. I'll make believe that I am you.
The idea is to make little girls' dreams
Liftoff.
Liftoff.
Liftoff. Weightless, but no airhead. Jeannie Moose, New York.
We want to leave you tonight with a smile. Meet M&M, Budweiser's newest Clydesdale. Anheuser-Busch announced his birth last month at Warm Springs Ranch in Boonville, Missouri. That's the breeding and training facility for the Budweiser Clydesdales. His name is spelled the same as the rapper, Eminem, and after the first initials of his mom, Marcy, and dad, Miles. He'll have to undergo years of training before he can even try out to join the Budweiser Clydesdales traveling team. By then, he could be about 6 feet tall at the shoulders and weigh as much as 2,000 pounds. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and have a great night.